How badly do you want to choose your lucid dreams? Maybe you want to fly off like Superman, or kiss someone you never had the courage to speak to in real life. And could you really learn to do it more often? On purpose? Let's take control of our minds while you get your dose of bean-sent knowledge. To understand how to control lucid dreams, we first have to understand how all dreams happen. And it begins with the brain pattern we call REM sleep. Now, roughly every 90 minutes, your sleep cycle hits a stage where your brain lights up like it's partying, despite you being knocked out. This is rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep, and during it, your brain behaves eerily similar to when you're awake. Functional MRI scans show high activity in the amygdala and visual cortex, while the prefrontal cortex chills in the backseat. That means your brain's emotion and visual centers are full of activity, while the logic center is quiet. That's why your dream self thinks a flying potato or a flirty celebrity is totally reasonable during normal dreams. And dreams don't just come from one day's events. Your brain recycles impressions, sounds, old emotions, and unresolved conflicts, essentially guessing what kind of story would make sense from all this leftover mental junk. Psychologists call this the activation synthesis model. Your brain is essentially using every memory and experience you've ever had and writing some weird indie stories every night that you sleep. Now, why would we evolve something so strange or specific? One concept called threat simulation theory suggests that dreams let us rehearse survival scenarios. Another theory, known as emotional regulation, says dreaming helps rebalance your psychological state. Ever cried in a dream and felt either way heavier or weirdly better the next day? That might be your brain trying to give itself therapy. So when you have these strange mash-up together dreams, that's your brain attempting to sift through all the memories in order to get them out. Now, experiments show that people in REM sleep respond to real external stimuli. For example, a 2017 study had participants smell different scents while sleeping, like lavender or rotten eggs, and their dream mood shifted accordingly. Even music can sneak into your dreamscape. This mixes with the default mode network, a system in your brain active when you're daydreaming or thinking about yourself or remembering the past. And it's heavily linked to dreaming, meaning your ego, memories, and inner monologue take priority in the kind of dreams you usually get. Now, sometimes something wakes up in your mind during REM. That wait a minute reflex when you notice something weird about your dream, that's a flicker of your self-awareness, and it's how the lucid experience begins. But without understanding these chaotic dream mechanics, you'd never realize how delicate the balance is. Because to be lucid is to become a thinking character inside a non-thinking story in your brain. And for that to happen, the dream has to be rich enough, but not so much that you shift into actual full awareness that it's too weird to be reality. Now let's discuss specifically how lucid dreams actually begin, based on some research so you know what to do. Lucid dreams don't happen by accident. Technically, though they are the product of a very specific combination between memory, awareness, and a brain that forgets it's supposed to be asleep. And that's not something you can just choose to do. Now, the first major scientist, though, to put lucid dreaming on the experimental map was Dr. Keith Hearn, a British psychologist. In 1975, he pulled off something no one thought was possible. He recorded eye movements from inside a dream. His subject, Alan Worsley, was a skilled lucid dreamer, and before falling asleep, they agreed on a pattern, left, right, which Worsley would move his eyes in if he realized he was dreaming. And inside the REM sleep state, he did it. Hearn caught it on a polysomnograph, proving the conscious mind could exist inside the unconscious state. Just a few years later, in 1980, American sleep researcher Dr. Stephen LaBerge at Stanford repeated the experiment, this time with more rigorous EEG and muscle monitoring. He also began training people to do it on command. His mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, or MILD technique, told sleepers to mentally repeat before bed, "Next time I'm dreaming, I will remember I'm dreaming." Now, it sounds basic, but when paired with reality checks, like trying to push your hand through a wall or reading a clock twice, it works, because your dream brain can't replicate real-life logic. Clocks will glitch or hands will melt, and these weird moments spark your lucidity if you catch them. Now let's enter WILD, the wake-initiated lucid dream. Here you consciously fall asleep without losing awareness. It feels a little bit like being blindfolded rather than actually falling asleep. It takes practice, and often comes with intense hypnagogic visuals, swirling colors, falling sensations, and random voices. but if you stay calm, you slide into the dream fully lucid from the start. A 2020 study by Dr. Benjamin Baird at the University of Wisconsin-Madison showed that lucid dreaming also activates the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain tied to self-reflection. This area is normally asleep during REM because it's responsible for speaking thoughts to yourself. But this isn't just mental gymnastics or a cool new toy. All these abilities have real-world potential. One study published in Current Biology in 2021 showed scientists actually communicated with lucid dreamers in real time. Participants answered yes or no questions with eye signals while dreaming, like in Hearn's experiment. They even solved math problems. That kind of cross-world awareness opens some very strange doors. Some use it to confront phobias in a safe environment, that could be spiders, public speaking, or even past trauma. Therapists call this lucid exposure therapy, and it's gaining traction as a healing tool. Artists, coders, musicians, even athletes use lucid dreams to rehearse. World-class pianist Celeste Kuhn practiced finger movements in her sleep before major recitals. The late Nikola Tesla reportedly dreamed up his inventions before ever sketching them. And today, lucid dreaming communities swap tips on designing dream worlds that function like virtual reality games. Fully explorable, customizable, and recurring. Now, that takes us back to the main point. You don't just want to read about lucid dreaming or hear me talk about it. You want to try it. So how do you break into this? The simplest step is to start with a dream journal. Write everything you remember immediately upon waking up. This boosts your dream recall, trains you to recognize patterns and break into lucidity, and teaches your brain that paying attention matters and to remember your dreams at all. Soon your dreams will get clearer. Lucid opportunities will start appearing. Then you can add in the repeating phrase of remembering your dreaming and choosing one action as your reality check. All of this together will give you a powerful set of tools to start lucid dreaming. Drop a comment below what your favorite lucid dream has been and what you're hoping to do next in your mindscape, or if you're hoping to have your first lucid dream. But now, let's look at just how much has been achieved in a lucid dream so you know the potential of what you could do. Let's start with Salvador Dali. The surrealist art king wasn't just eccentric by nature, he weaponized dreams to make himself that way. His infamous slumber with a key technique involved sitting in a chair with a heavy metal key in hand, poised over a plate. As soon as his eyes fluttered and muscles relaxed, the key dropped with a huge clang. He'd wake just as his brain entered the hypnagogic state. Hallucinations fresh, and claimed his best paintings came from that semi-conscious chaos. Thomas Edison did something nearly identical. He held steel ball bearings in his hands and sat in a chair over metal plates. The moment he fell asleep, they crashed down on the plates and woke him. He'd grab a notebook and jot down the sparks of insight from that. Historians now think that some of his eureka ideas, like the phonograph or improvements to the light bulb, may have originated in these brief, lucid adjacent states. Then there's Mary Shelley, who claimed the idea for Frankenstein came during a vivid dream, or Paul McCartney, who literally heard the entire melody for Yesterday in his sleep and sprinted to his piano before forgetting it. Fast forward now to today's cognitive scientists and creative engineers. One man stands out, and that's Dr. Richard Carhart Harris, the former head of Imperial College London's Psychedelic Research Group. He's not just studying how dreams and consciousness overlap, he's figuring out if lucid dreams could simulate psychedelic therapy. In other words, could dreaming be prescribed as medicine? The boundary between sleep, imagination, and invention has never been thinner. In Silicon Valley, tech developers experiment with lucid dreaming apps and dream incubation audio cues, designed to influence what you dream while you sleep. Startups are building wearable devices that monitor REM sleep and deliver real-time sound prompts to steer your dream, like a choose-your-own-adventure game which you're actively coding as you play. We are building an age where dreams are not just experiences, but activities. The implications are massive here, because you could brainstorm business ideas, or rehearse conversations, or test creative scenes in a safe mode, where failure doesn't leave anything behind for you to clean up. So what would you build in your dream world if you knew you were awake inside it? We look forward to all your creativity down in the comments. Now we know what lucid dreams are, how to do them, and what they've been used for, but do you know how they actually change you as a person? Imagine for a bit that you woke up from a lucid dream just now. You just flew through a city of shifting glass, or you had tea with your childhood self, or you became an expert at that new skill you've been aching to learn, and you knew it was a dream, but it felt real. And now you're awake, but actually still feel a little different than yesterday. And that's because lucid dreams rewire you, not metaphorically, neurologically, affecting your self-perception. We mentioned that when you're lucid, you activate the prefrontal cortex, which is the decision maker of your brain. It's the seat of critical thinking and self-awareness, and it's usually offline during normal dreaming. Lucidity flips it back on, mid-dream. Suddenly you have your actual reactions, fears, or desires in a space that isn't your usual reality. In one study by the Max Planck Institute, lucid dreamers demonstrated higher metacognition. Now that's the ability to think about your own thinking. They became more aware of how they process emotions and make decisions even when awake after multiple sessions of lucid dreaming. It's almost as if lucid dreaming stimulates long-term evolution in your brain by exposing you to situations. Now let's get a little boring for just a second, because it'll be even more incredible than any fantasy. Imagine if you used lucid dreaming not just to fly or explore things, but to rehearse, to speak up to your boss or ask someone out, or relive a trauma with new perspective. This builds real muscle memory in your body for how you want to react to something, but might have a hard time doing in real life. In 2016, a German study showed that athletes who practiced movements in lucid dreams perform better in real life. The brain simulates motion so vividly, it's as if they'd trained overnight. Even martial artists have used lucid dreaming to sharpen their reflexes, essentially running private sparring simulations in their sleep. Gestalt psychologists and trauma counselors now use lucid dream training to help patients confront phobias and gain a sense of agency. People with chronic nightmares, especially PTSD survivors, have reported life-changing results from learning to become lucid inside their dreams. But lucid dreaming isn't just about control, it's also about letting go. The more you try to force it, the more the dream slips away from you. You can't strangle a dream into obedience to be exactly what you want. You have to work with it and change elements into what you'd prefer. Some people report spiritual growth in their lucid dreaming. They have moments of ego death, union with the cosmos, strange encounters with what they can only describe as guides or higher selves. Now, are these just imagined figures? Archetypes bubbling up from Jungian studies in their college philosophy classes? Or something else? Whatever they are, they leave an imprint. This isn't proof of the supernatural, but it is evidence that who you become in a dream can expand who you are while you're awake. The first time you realize I'm dreaming inside a dream, it hits like thunder. And then you begin to ask yourself, if I can impact my life in this world, why not my waking one? You will never look at sleep the same way again when you realize just how impactful this can be in changing your life. We spend a third of our lives asleep, and for most of us, those hours seem lost against our will. But what if we could try to make something of it? What if the night is a chance for growing with less consequences than daytime attempts at it? Lucid dreaming is not just a trick of your awareness, it's about confronting your inner thoughts and desires. And this can give you so much power to not just indulge in those thoughts and desires, but push yourself to make them real things you get to experience in the world. What a wonderfully fucky effect, huh? You wake from the unreal, feeling more real. So tonight when you close your eyes, remember, you have the power to control your outcomes, in your dreams and in your waking world. Thanks for watching and reaching the end of the video. Go forth and absorb your new knowledge. We'll catch you for your next cup of coffee.